In the last two videos, I have been talking about the growth journey, and I covered stages 1 and 2 out of the 5-stage growth journey. And so today we are going to talk about stage 3. And stage 3 is called growing pains. Now, this probably doesn't sound appealing, right? Like, why would I want to move from stage 2 as a passive learner to stage 3 if you're telling me that it has growing pains? Well, our growth journey in life is not likely to be smooth. Growing from an infant to a successful adult probably was not a straight upward journey with no bumps or valleys. And the same is going to be true of your growth journey. And when I was identifying and labeling these stages in the growth journey, I really felt like I would do a disservice to you if I didn't point out that there will be challenges along this journey. It's not all going to be smooth sailing, but it is so worth it to move through those challenges, embrace the challenges, and learn and grow through them. Because you'll see in stages 4 and 5 that when we come through these growing pains and out on the other side, things get so much better. All right, so people in stage 3, they fully embrace a growth mindset. They are excited to grow, they are gung-ho, they are taking action. The problem comes when you're not surrounded by a community of people who are also taking action on their growth journey. And when you start taking action, you may outgrow the people around you. You may outgrow your friends. They may think that you're weird. They may think that it's crazy that you are enjoying learning, that maybe you decided to go back to school because you wanted to learn specific things, you wanted to get a degree, and maybe that is making them uncomfortable, right? And they don't know how to handle it. Maybe you just hit some of those challenges that come along with growth, right? Things get hard and it makes you want to quit. I'm currently in a PhD program right now, and I have just finished my coursework. Now, it has not been smooth sailing. I started the PhD program because I was right here, right? I was in stage 3. I was fully embracing growth. I had some things that I wanted to learn and do as a dietetics educator. I wanted to learn how we might be able to improve the education system for registered dietitians. If you don't know anything about registered dietitians, it is a very messy and disjointed system where you have to get a specific accredited degree. You have to do basically a 6-month to a 1-year unpaid internship that typically you actually pay for the privilege of, that's highly competitive and hard to get. And then you have to pass a extremely comprehensive multiple choice examination. There are a lot of hoops, and it is a complicated system. Now, I wanted to look at how could I improve that. And if I was going to learn how to do quality research to figure this out, then I decided I may as well get the degree and have those little letters behind my name. So summer of 2019, I started this PhD program. I had no idea what was going to happen 9 months later. And in March of 2020, we all know the world shut down, right? So I was teaching full time. I was taking a full credit load. I was taking 9 credit hours because I thought, I've handled 6 so far. I can handle for just this one semester doing 9 credits because there was classes I wanted to take that were only offered that semester. I didn't know that I was also going to be homeschooling my child, that I was going to have to convert my teaching to online, that my students who were in practical rotations. They were out in the world. They were supposed to be out in the world with dietitians. We're going to have their rotations completely shut down, right? It was a mess and it became hard. But I persevered that. And last fall, in the fall of 21, my advisor told me that he needed to pull back. He had research studies that were starting and he could not supervise effectively the number of students he had. And so I lost my PhD advisor for a semester. And I won't get into all of the messy details of what is going on at my school, but there wasn't a faculty member that I knew and had experience with and wanted to work with that also was willing to take on another student. So the story so far has a happy middle, I guess. We're not at the end yet, but I actually got my PhD advisor back and he's working with me again. But you guys, I was ready to quit, right? I was essentially done with coursework. I had a few classes left, but I didn't have anyone guiding me, and it just looked like an unsurmountable obstacle, and I was ready to quit. Okay, now thankfully I pushed through that feeling of wanting to quit, and we're back on track, right? And that's why I want you to know about stage 3, because it's inevitable. You're going to hit some challenges. So if you're in stage 3, you might be in stage 3 and not have hit these challenges yet, right? But, or maybe you have. So if this is you, you're going to say yes. So in the first 2 stages, we said no to the questions. Well, this time we're going to say yes. So one hallmark, and you don't necessarily have to say yes to every question, right? But one hallmark of stage 3 is, has your personal growth journey made you feel less happy with your current job situation? This has happened to me multiple times in life, right? Where I just outgrew my job. My last job, I became complacent, right? I actually wasn't even terribly unhappy. I was just very complacent. The job was easy. It didn't take a whole lot of brain power from me. And I realized I was getting complacent and that it was time for me to find something else, find a new challenge and move on, because there was nowhere else for me to go where I was. Now, maybe your personal growth journey hasn't made you unhappy with your job, but maybe you're finding that you do not have a support system. Maybe you need some more people in your life to support you. And the people that used to be your support system aren't a great support system anymore. Now, that doesn't mean you have to totally ditch your friends, right? But you need people that are going to support your growth journey. And maybe in stage 3, you have realized that you want more from life, right? Your personal growth journey has helped you to realize that there is more. You could do more, you could be more, but you haven't quite defined what that looks like yet, right? Then you are solidly in stage 3. So that's great, but how do we move from stage 3 to stage 4? Oh, whoops, I just moved my slides back to stage 4. How do you move from stage 3 to stage 4? Well, if you don't have a community, right? If you are feeling those growing pains of not having supportive people around you, people who understand and support your growth journey, then I highly recommend that you find a community, a growth-focused community. I have a community that I am building called the Seedling Lab, and we will work on our personal growth journeys in there. So if you would like to join us in the Seedling Lab, the information on that is in the description of this video. I would love to have you join the Seedling Lab. Now, in the previous 2 videos, I talked about creating a growth mindset. And if you haven't checked out that mini course, I would highly encourage you to do so. But moving forward in stage 3, you probably really are embracing that growth mindset. and you're taking action on things. So that's not what's holding you back. And we need to move forward and create a growth environment. Because if you're in stage 3, your environment really probably is not supporting your growth. Now, if you are interested in learning more about a course on creating a growth environment, let me know in the comments. What we would cover in this course on creating a growth environment is starting with really thinking about the environment that you're in and how the people and your work environment are impacting your growth positively or negatively. We're also going to talk about how you know when you might need to change environments. Not every environment is a good, healthy environment. And we're going to talk about how we identify the unhealthy ones and when it's time for us to change our environment. Next, we're going to talk about strategies for achieving your dreams. So what kind of systems can we put in place and what kind of strategies can we employ to help us to build that environment that's going to support our growth? We'll talk about potential. A lot of people think that it's your skills and abilities that determine and limit your potential, but it's actually your character. Who you are as a person and your character impact your potential more than your skills, talents, and abilities. So we're going to examine our character and identify if there are areas that we need to work on. Next, we're going to talk about bad experiences, right? Because like I said, we're going to have these growing pains. We're going to have bad experiences. We all have made mistakes and we all have times that didn't go as well as we want them to. So we're going to talk about some general categories of painful experiences and then how we can turn them into experiences that lead to positive growth. And finally, the last thing that we're going to talk about in developing a growth or creating a growth environment is consistency and discipline. We are going to move away from motivation and we are going to create a discipline. Because guess what? You are not going to be motivated every single day. You may not be motivated to eat right, you may not be motivated to exercise, and you may not be motivated to actively work on your growth plan. But motivation is a lie. And what we need to do is develop consistency and discipline in life so that we're not reliant on whether we feel like doing things. It becomes a habit. So those are the topics in creating a growth environment. Now, the other course that I have in development that is also a good one for people in stage 3 is From Striving to Thriving. So if you think about the word strive, some people use it in a positive manner, right? But if we look up the definition of strive, to strive means to struggle or to fight vigorously. And how many of you feel like you're striving in your career and in your life? Well, that's not what we want. We want to live thriving lives where we're prospering, flourishing, and growing or developing well. So in my From Striving to Thriving course, we are going to identify your sweet spot. You're going to identify the place where your experiences, gifts, talents, and abilities, and your core values come together. And where we find those come together, this is the spot that's going to lead to a thriving life. Now, with all of these courses, it's really important that you reflect on your experiences and you take action, right? We have to continue taking action on these things if we want to grow. All right, so stage 3, we're going to have some growing pains. I promise you it is worth it to push through those. Don't quit, don't give up, and move forward to stage 4. So hopefully I will see you on the next video to learn about stage 4. Thank you and have a great day.